Brothers, let me talk to you plain. There's a power most of us don't even realize we're carrying. It's invisible, but it shapes everything about us. You can see it in a man's shoulders when he walks in the room. You can hear it in the way he shakes your hand, the way he talks about his situation. That power is belief. Not belief in a churchy sense, not just belief in God, but belief in yourself. Belief that even when life looks stacked against you, somehow, some way, you'll figure it out. And I know black men have had to run on belief more than almost anybody. History, society, the job market, even our own family sometimes. Everything will try to tell you you're not enough. You can't win, you won't last. But here's the thing. Belief is the one thing they can't take. Two brothers can face the same problem. One says, man, I'll never get out of this. The other says, I'll find a way. Same challenge. Two totally different outcomes. One freezes up, the other adapts. He leans in, makes calls, takes risks. Not because he had proof it would work, because he decided it would. That mindset alone changes the game. Now, the world will tell you to be realistic. And when most people say that, what they really mean is don't dream too big, don't expect too much. But the truth is, being realistic is often just a fancy way of giving up before you start. When you lower your expectations to match your fears, your actions shrink too. You stop trying. You stop opening doors, not because they're locked, but because you stop reaching for the handle. Well, belief isn't some naive daydream. It's strategy. It's armor. It's fuel. Think about the best in any field. Athletes, artists, leaders. They don't wait for confidence to show up. They move first. Confidence is built from action, not the other way around. That's why acting as if is so powerful. I remember a brother who lost his job, felt stuck, felt invisible. He said, I'm gonna treat this like the best thing that's ever happened to me, even though it doesn't feel like it yet. And guess what? That one choice changed how he moved. His energy shifted. He interviewed better, networked smarter. Within months, he landed in a position that fit him better than the one he lost. It wasn't luck, it was belief. See, when you move like everything's working in your favor, you stop making fear-based decisions. You stop hesitating. You learn to trust the process, trust your resilience, trust the God-given strength already inside you. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to believe that the next step will take you somewhere worth going. Brothers who move like that, they carry themselves differently. Not cocky, not arrogant, just a steady calm, a quiet power. People feel it when you walk in a room. They're drawn to it, not because you've got all the answers, but because you look anchored, unshaken. And here's the kicker. When you move as if things will work out, they often do. Not because the universe bends to you, but because your energy makes people want to work with you. Doors crack open, and you start creating opportunities you wouldn't have seen otherwise. We all carry stories in our head about who we are. Some of those stories were written by people who didn't see our full worth. Teachers, bosses, even family members projecting their fears on us. But here's the truth. You get to rewrite the story. You decide whether your life is tragedy or triumph. And I'll tell you this, acting like everything works out for you isn't arrogance. It's grounded optimism. It's looking at the storm and saying, I may not control it, but I'll still make it through. It's saying, this pain won't break me, it'll build me. Look back at the brothers who inspired you most. It wasn't the ones who had it easy. It was the ones who kept pushing when it made no sense to keep going. The ones who refused to quit even when they were counted out. That's what we remember. That's what we honor. So next time you're facing uncertainty, remember, the most important decision ain't what you do, it's what you believe. Belief shapes behavior. Behavior shapes outcome. You've got to choose wisely. See, our brains believe the story we repeat most. If you keep telling yourself, I'm unlucky, I'm unworthy, I'm stuck, your mind will scan the world to prove yourself right. But if you say, I'm built for this, I've survived worse, I can win again, then your brain starts finding ways to make that true. That's why acting as if is so critical. You're not pretending, you're programming. You're giving your mind a new job. Find the way forward, and it works. You start treating rejection as redirection. You see obstacles as training grounds. You realize every setback is part of the setup. Optimism isn't weakness, it's discipline. It's refusing to let your spirit be shaped by fear. Life will tell you to wait until you feel ready. But readiness isn't the starter, it's the byproduct. Action creates confidence. You move, you learn, you adjust. Every no makes you sharper. Every stumble teaches you something. That's how momentum is built. Not in giant leaps, but in steady, intentional steps. And here's the thing. When you move like this, people notice. Your kids notice. Younger brothers in the community notice. Strangers notice. They're watching you to see if it's possible. You become proof. You become evidence that Black men can keep rising, can keep building, can keep leading, even when the odds are against us. Whether you signed up to be a role model or not, you are one. Somebody's watching how you carry yourself. And they're not looking for perfection. They're looking for persistence. When you show up steady, when you refuse to quit, you're not just holding yourself up, you're holding space for everybody watching. So ask yourself, what evidence am I becoming? What story does my life tell? Because whether you realize it or not, you are shaping what others believe is possible. Brothers, we don't just live for ourselves. Every step we take sends ripples through our families, our neighborhoods, our culture. So act as if everything always works out for you. Not because it'll be easy, not because life won't test you, but because carrying that belief makes you unstoppable. That's not just survival, that's legacy.